Hello everyone, my name is Kunal and I have been thinking about it for a long time to go and start doing something like this. And then I thought maybe right now is the right time for me to go ahead and actually go and jump into it. So for last so many years that I've been working into the field of marketing analytics, uh, the way that I have seen this field changing in the last 5 to 7 years, it just is mind-boggling. The way this field of marketing analytics has been sucked into the larger domain of data analytics and then merged with machine learning and now AI becoming an inherent part of it. Seems like that it has transformed into something that we never really envisioned uh, earlier, right? So as a result, all of us are continuously growing, continuously learning and upskilling ourselves into this field. But then I thought that maybe learning ourselves is not enough, right? We have to go for ensure that we go and share our learnings with a wider forum across the board to go for and make sure that whatever we have learned, whatever practices that we have developed, we are actually going ahead and sharing with a wider forum for them to go ahead and learn through our learnings, for them to actually go ahead and implement whatever we have implemented, and then challenge our thought process, our implementation, and then maybe go ahead and tell us where we are going wrong and how we can actually go and improve ourselves. So, keeping this idea in mind, I have decided to create a series of sorts, a series dedicated to discuss one topic probably every Monday, every week. The idea will be to go ahead and take a topic, discuss whatever I have learned, my point of view, my ideas, my solutions, my own implementation, and all this just within 20-25 minutes tops. In these 20 minutes, if I can tell you whatever I have learned, how I have learned it about my solutions, uh, maybe some of you can actually go ahead and implement the same. Some of you would be able to go ahead and be able to go ahead and tell me what I have done wrong. And if that can happen, I would say that's the job well done. So every week I will go ahead and try to share the content about a new topic or more details about some of the topics that we have already discussed in the past. And this content would be of different formats. Some would be like this video format. Some of it would be like reading material, some notes, some content that I have created myself, some quizzes, some case studies that I have actually worked upon. And all this just to go ahead and ensure that I can actually go ahead and share whatever I have learned with all of you, so that you can also go ahead and learn in the best manner possible with the hands-on experience, with the utmost ease and all kinds of practical exposure that you would need to go ahead and get into the depth of analytics by yourself. Having said that, today's 20-minute discussion topic would be Google Cloud Platform. And this is the first topic that I'm going ahead and taking. I hope that you would go ahead and like it. And on this note, what I will do is I'll go ahead and switch off my video, and then we'll go ahead and talk about the slides that I have developed, some of the notes that I have created with all of you. So this is what we are going to go ahead and do. Again, like I said, that I hope you would go ahead and like the content, and let's go ahead and take a deeper dive into Google Cloud Platform. Now, I mean, an introduction to Google Cloud Platform. And see the monitor, and yeah, so what we are going to do is we are going to go and talk about Google Cloud Platform or GCP. And there is absolutely no way that I can talk all about GCP in 20 minutes, right? But I can at least give an introduction about the same. I can tell you how to go and create your account and how you can maybe activate it, and that's about it. This is all we will go ahead and cover in this discussion for the day. But then I wouldn't really go ahead and stop on Google Analytics just over here. In next few weeks, I will continue talking about GCP, in particular some of the more comprehensive offerings of GCP like compute engines, storage options, containerized engines, etc. Like I said earlier, uh, content for some of these topics will be shared in the format of videos. Some I'll just go ahead and create certain documentations. I will go ahead and share some of the articles. For some, I'll actually go ahead and create quiz. Uh, for some, I will actually go ahead and create some case studies. And I sincerely do hope that you all will like what I have actually put together, and you will actually go and benefit from all these discussions. You will get an idea about the evolving world of web analytics, marketing analytics in particular, And in case you are a marketer, you are a marketing analyst by yourself, or maybe you would want to go and become one, all this will actually go ahead and help you in getting a head start. Now that the introductions are out of the way, I would like to go ahead and talk about what is a cloud platform and why we are discussing about cloud platform and why GCP in particular. And what are the different kinds of services offered by GCP, or for that matter, any other cloud platform. So let me go ahead and spin it a little and tell you what it is not. So I would be going ahead and sharing a link of the video in the description. But this video is about someone explaining about cloud computing. If you see this picture, you probably would have seen this guy talking about cloud in some kind of funny meme or whatever, right? Yeah, so this guy actually believed that there is a cloud like up in the air where our data is actually stored. And this guy is actually genuinely concerned that if we have bad weather, what happens to this cloud? In case of lightning, will there be some kind of aberrations in the data? So first things first, nope, cloud platforms have got nothing to do with the clouds that are up in the air, right? Whatever that we have read and learned about clouds in our water cycle diagrams and all that, cloud computing has got nothing to do with that. So cloud computing is actually a practice of using remote servers on internet to store our data, compute our algorithms, run our applications, and manage our resources on the basis of our own demands. So it's more like an on-demand service. So that is one thing that we'll have to go and keep in mind. So what it means is that now we don't really have to go and buy or maintain our services, our servers, our routers, cables, and all other kind of infrastructure to go ahead and run our applications, our operations. We need let's say we need a system with 64 GB of RAM and 100 terabyte of SSD hard drive, right? With the Linux operating system and a super fast GPU along with it to go ahead and run some critical processes for, let's say, 10 hours. Now, what all we'll have to go and do is we'll have to go ahead, log on to our favorite cloud platform, and that's where they will go ahead and have this kind of system for us. And we can actually go ahead and lease that system from that cloud platform for a period of 10 hours. Now, we don't really have to go and buy this machine, maintain this machine, but we can actually go and use this machine from our cloud platform. And once we are done, we can actually go and return this machine to the cloud platform, and we'll be only charged for whatever we have used. That's about it. So does it mean that they are going to actually go ahead and send us the required system at our doorstep, kind of a delivery system kind of a thing? So no, that's not the case. We'll actually have to go ahead and log into cloud platform with our own system and configure the system over there. And then use the system through SSH, transfer our files or our data on the system now, perform our task, and that's it. There is no need for any physical system to go anywhere. Once we are done, if we want, we can actually go and take out the output of all our processes, all our operations, delete everything, delete the machine as well, and then return it to the platform. All said and done, we'll be able to accomplish our task at the fraction of the cost, absolutely at the fraction of the cost, what we would have incurred if we had actually bought this machine. So that's what cloud platform actually does it for us. So maybe a next question that might actually come into your mind is that, is it useful only if we are using for small time frames or smaller operations or something like this? So absolutely not. In fact, for larger time frames, pretty much every cloud provider gives us a usage discount. That is, more you use, lesser you will pay. Which means that even for more long-term usage, you will get a better deal on the cloud platforms. And plus, you wouldn't have to worry about any of the management or maintenance issues. It's just log in, perform your task, and shut down your machines. That's about it. That's what cloud computing is all about. And if you're still wondering, Think about all the movies that we are watching on these streaming platforms like Netflix, Amazon Prime. So all you are doing is watching a movie, pause it anytime that you would want, forward it, reverse it, do whatever. It is as if you actually have a physical DVD of the movie. I know for a younger generation, they might not even know what you mean by physical DVD of the movie, right? But then it's like playing the movie whenever we want, just as if we are owning the DVD, a physical copy on the player that we are having. And this is what cloud is. Think about it. If you actually go and buy every DVD of the movie that is present on Netflix, you'll probably go bankrupt, right? But then again, you all have this huge library for all kinds of movies for a very nominal fee. And I know that Netflix is not really as cheap, but it's cheap as hell when compared with the cost of owning all these movies. So that's what cloud computing is. And now that we have understood what cloud computing is, let's know about few of the major players in the market. Needless to say, AWS, that is Amazon Web Services, is definitely the biggest of the lot. They have somewhere close to 30% of the market share. Microsoft Azure is second with around 20% of the market share, and then is Google Cloud Platform with around 6% of market share. And at this point of time, you can actually go and ask me, Kunal, if GCP is so further behind the curve, why are we even discussing about it, right? And to answer your question, considering I'm a marketing analyst, Google seems like a perfect match for me because most of the marketing is still done on Google platforms like Google Search, Google Display Network, and GCP being a Google product has a native integration with all these Google provided services. This makes GCP pretty alluring to me. This doesn't mean that in subsequent weeks we will not go and talk about Microsoft Azure or AWS, but as a start, I thought that GCP seems like a pretty interesting and a very high value proposition. Not to mention and this is actually a pretty cool fact, that Alphabet, Google's parent company, recently told in their earnings report that their revenue actually decreased by 2% year on year. But at the same time, their CFO, I believe her name is Ruth, I don't know her full name. She said that the decline in this search business is actually getting offset by their earnings from cloud platform, which means that cloud is fast becoming a serious lifesaver for Google in the market. And why not? They actually registered a growth of 43% year on year in their earnings from Google Cloud. Keeping these facts in mind, we are actually going ahead and starting with GCP, Google Cloud Platform. But this doesn't mean that there are not other players in the market. There are quite a few players out there in the market. IBM is also pretty decent. So these are some of the other players which are actually there in the market. There's VMware, there's IBM, of course. So there are quite a few cloud offerings out there. So GCP is just a starting point for all of us. Now let's go ahead and understand what are the typical services that any kind of a cloud platform provider actually provides. So these services can actually be distributed or categorized in three categories. Number one is IaaS, number two is PaaS, number three is SaaS. IaaS is infrastructure as a service. That is an offering where cloud provider gives you an access to computing resources like servers, storage, networking as you require within their own infrastructure for you to run your own applications and platforms. This is the simplest of offerings, which provides you maximum of control. A typical example of this kind of a service is, say, Google Drive, right? If you want to go ahead and store your pictures, your documents, you can go ahead, put it on Google Drive, and then all you have to worry about is remembering the password, right? I mean, everything else is actually taken care of by Google Drive, the whole maintenance, storage, and everything. So IaaS services, more often than not, these are the least expensive of the cloud services. Number two is PaaS, PaaS, that is platform as a service, where provider provides you with the operating system, OS, security, backup, etc., for you to develop, manage, and host your own applications. You also do get some kind of development tools, for example, BI services, etc. Pretty much all BI services are, in fact, are a fine example of PaaS, platform as a service. You get tools to go and create your own dashboards, reports, and schedule them without worrying about underlying networking and storage technologies. And this is something your cloud platform is actually handling on its own. And while you are actually going ahead and putting your efforts in creating the insightful product, so to say, that is dashboard and reports. Finally, we have software as a service, SaaS, where your provider is actually giving you access to the cloud-based softwares for you to go and use them without worrying about any of the installation hassles on any of your local devices. All you have to do is go to the website, log in, and play around with your softwares. That's it. You don't have to go and worry about creating or managing anything. Uh, Services like Netflix, Gmail, Amazon Prime, they all actually do come in this kind of a category, that is SaaS. Now that we have actually talked about cloud platforms and the services that they provide, their market share, the major players, and why we are actually going with GCP, maybe now it's the right time to actually get into the GCP. And we will actually go ahead and get into GCP, the console. But before that, I would just want to go and quickly show you the typical hierarchy of GCP resources. We will go and circle back to this a little later as well, but I just would want to go ahead and showcase that to you. This is the typical hierarchy of GCP. That is organization, folders, projects, and then resources. So this is how everything is aligned. But for now, we will only go ahead and start with the project itself. We will not worry about organization and folders for now. And we will, within a couple of minutes, we will actually get into the cloud platform, the Google Cloud Platform console, and where we can actually go ahead and create an account and a project. So to go ahead and create a project, we also will have to go and create a billing account on which it will be built. And yes, if I have not told you earlier, GCP is not really free of cost. So to go ahead and create a billing account, you will have to go and enter your credit card details. But don't worry, because Google is actually awesome. And I really do mean it. I'm a big fan of Google. So when you go ahead and create your GCP billing account, Google actually doesn't really take any money from you. It deducts only $1 to go ahead and check for the validity, and then provides you with 300 US dollars worth of free credit for an entire year. And considering GCP cost is also pretty lean, so these $300 would be pretty decent for you to go ahead and learn Google Cloud Platform, right? So you would be charged for different kind of services, different kind of resources that you might actually go and use within Google Cloud Platform, and that can be deducted from your $300 worth of credit only. And all you have to do is just be a little smart with it. You will have to go and delete your resources and all that. But then again, we will go and talk about all these things later as well. So yeah, let's say your $300 worth of credit expires, right? Then what would happen? So like I told you earlier as well, right, that Google is awesome. So Google will not go ahead and auto charge anything on your account, right? So let's say if your $300 are over, it will go ahead and ask you that do you want to go and continue your services and charge it on your account? And if you say yes, only then it will go and proceed. Else all your services would just be halted. That's about it. So yeah, so these are the different kinds of services, advantages of actually going ahead and using cloud computing. And keeping these things in mind, we will now actually go ahead and start with GCP, and let's go ahead and create a project, create an account, and do all the funky stuff. Okay, so let me just go ahead and stop sharing my slides, and let me go ahead and share the video of how to actually create your Google Cloud Platform account. So what I'll do is I'll go to console.cloud.google.com. This is where I'll go to. And over here, I'll have to go ahead and enter my ID and everything. Let me go and do that real quick. Just a minute while I'm actually going ahead and entering my details. And now that I have entered my details, I have logged in. All you need is just one email with Google account. Best is Gmail, but if you don't have Gmail, you can actually go and register your own email to um, with Google, and you can actually go and play around with Google Cloud Platform. So what I'll do is I'll go and select my country, India. I'll agree to all the terms and conditions after going through each and every one of them in detail. Since I've already done it, so I'll go and click on agree and continue. So that's where I am. Now it will go and ask me to go ahead and activate my GCP account. That way I will be able to go ahead and get my $300 worth of credit. So let me first go ahead and create my billing account over here. It will go ahead and again show me some of the terms and conditions. Like I said, that it will go and give me $300 worth of free credit account. So now it will go and ask me for my address, my details, my contact details, and my credit card details. So let me go ahead and quickly enter that. I'll just go ahead and pause my screen real quick for that. So let me go ahead and do that. Give me just one more minute. Almost done. So yeah, so once your billing account is done, your first project would be automatically created over here. This is your first project, and you can actually go ahead and get all your Google Cloud services from here. Next few weeks, we will go ahead and talk about many of these services, not everything, but yeah, many of these services we'll go ahead and talk about. And this is like your dashboard from where you can actually go and see what kind of resources that you're using, what kind of APIs that you're using, what are the compute engine resources that you're using. Pretty much everything would be over here. So yes, this is all that I have for the day. I hope that you have enjoyed it. You have got an idea of what GCP is, why we need cloud platforms. And in next few weeks, we will actually go and take a deeper dive into it. We will actually go and see how to utilize Google Cloud Platform to best of your advantage. If you are actually going ahead, you are a budding analyst, or you are actually going ahead you are new to GCP. I hope that these discussions will actually go and help you in achieving your goal and your aspirations. So thank you so much for joining me, guys. Take care. Have a wonderful time ahead, and we'll see you all next week, maybe in a different format. But yeah, let's go ahead and talk to you all next week. Take care. Bye, guys.